9 points, 38 seconds, one player single-handedly shattered the confidence of the most dominant team in the WNBA. The New York Liberty walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse with a spotless record and left looking stunned, exposed, and beaten. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's been doubted, hyped, criticized, and worshipped. She returned from injury and didn't just play, she detonated. But this wasn't just a comeback story. It was a turning point, a blueprint, a warning shot fired across the entire league. Because what the Indiana Fever did to the Liberty wasn't a fluke. It was a full system breakdown of a supposedly unbeatable team, powered by a generational performance and a team firing on all cylinders. What you're about to see is how Caitlin Clark destroyed a perfect season, and how the Fever quietly became a championship problem nobody expected. Coming into this game, the New York Liberty were 9-0, the last undefeated team standing. Their dominance wasn't just in the win column, it was in the attitude. Every game felt like a statement. Every blowout added to the mystique. Sabrina Ionescu was lighting it up from deep, Jonquel Jones was controlling the paint, and Brianna Stewart, a two-time MVP, was doing whatever she wanted on both ends of the floor. They were suffocating teams with elite defense and outscoring them with surgical offense. It was like watching a machine. Every part working in sync. Coaches around the league were studying hours of film, trying to find a weakness. Players were prepping harder, gritting their teeth, telling themselves they could compete. But every team walked in confident and left humiliated. Even the best teams couldn't make it close. It was demoralizing. The WNBA media world wasn't asking if the Liberty could win it all. They were already asking how early they'd clinch. And then Caitlin Clark came back. After missing 5 games with a strained quad, Clark was cleared to play. Some thought she'd ease back in. Others didn't even think she should suit up against this Liberty squad. But Caitlin didn't come to ease back in. She came to announce something. Right before tip-off, you could feel a weird energy in the building. The defending champs were locked in. The Fever, just 4-5 on the season. Nobody predicted what was about to happen. The Liberty expected to roll over Indiana like they had everyone else. Instead, they walked into a storm. It started with one logo 3, then another, then a third, all in 38 seconds. Clark didn't just heat up, she erupted. 3 deep shots from 30+ feet that looked effortless. Liberty defenders were scrambling, the crowd losing their minds. In less than a minute, Clark scored 9 points and erased an 11-point Liberty lead. She didn't just shift the momentum, she stole it, locked it in a safe, and tossed the key into the stands. You could see it in the Liberty's body language. They weren't just caught off guard, they looked stunned, like they had just seen something they didn't think was possible. Fans were jumping, the arena was vibrating, commentators couldn't keep up, and the Liberty? They didn't have answers. Their plan was shattered in under a minute, and the game had only just begun. That was just the appetizer. By halftime, Clark had already scored 25 points, the most she'd ever put up in a single half. She ended the night with 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 3-pointers. That combination never been done before in the history of the WNBA. Not by Diana Taurasi, not by Sue Bird, not by Maya Moore, nobody. She passed Candace Parker for most 35-5 games in a player's first 2 seasons, and she became the 4th fastest player in league history to reach 850 career points, doing it in just 45 games. Simone Augustus needed 39, Cynthia Cooper 38. Clark's not just climbing the ranks, she's catching legends in record time. She's now 2nd all-time in most games with 50+ points scored or assisted on, and she's only 10 games behind the all-time leader, Diana Taurasi, who needed over 560 games to get there. Clark's done it in 45. Now here's the twist in this story. This wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. Her return ignited the Fever as a unit, and that's what really turned this game into a warning shot for the league. Lexi Hull, normally a role player, exploded. Career highs in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and shooting percentage. She leads the WNBA in 3-point percentage and gave Clark the floor spacing she needed to cook. Aaliyah Boston, dominant. The only center in the league averaging over 4 assists per game. Her vision from the post made the Fever's offense unguardable. Kelsey Mitchell, clutch. She poured in 22 points, hitting dagger after dagger in the 4th quarter every time the Liberty tried to make a run. Even Sydney Colson came off the bench and looked like a veteran floor general. 10 points, 6 assists, and 0 fear. Her presence kept the momentum rolling when the starters took a breather. This wasn't a one-woman show. This was a unit, executing perfectly with a star at the center. The Fever didn't just win, they solved the Liberty. New York's deadly pick and roll disrupted, their perimeter scoring neutralized, their physicality inside matched. Indiana flipped the script, they controlled the tempo, forced the Liberty into uncomfortable situations, and punished every defensive lapse. Stephanie White's coaching was masterful. Every adjustment worked, every role player understood their mission, and every player played with that edge, like they had something to prove. The message was clear: when the Fever are locked in, they're not just good, they're dangerous. The Liberty came into this matchup riding high, the last undefeated team in the WNBA. Media crowned them the team to beat. Analysts couldn't stop talking about how complete they were, and honestly, it made sense. 9 straight wins. A lineup filled with MVPs and all-stars. They weren't just playing well, they were imposing their will on every court they stepped on. But this game flipped the entire narrative, because now, the Liberty don't look invincible anymore. That aura of domination, it cracked in real time, right in front of a sold-out arena, a national broadcast, and millions of fans watching Caitlin Clark go nuclear. This wasn't just one good game, it was a momentum shift for the entire league. The Fever didn't just beat the champs, they exposed the blueprint to do it. Shut down mismatches, space the floor, hit them fast before they can set their defense, and most importantly, take their confidence early. Other teams are going to start studying this game tape like gospel. Caitlin Clark's return wasn't about her filling a stat sheet, it was about leadership, swagger, control. Every time the Liberty made a push, Clark answered. Whether it was a dagger 3, a perfect assist, or just directing the offense like a coach on the floor, she made sure her team never gave up control. And don't forget what this meant for Indiana. With this win, they moved to 5-5 and jumped into first place in the Commissioner's Cup Eastern Conference standings. That's not just a bounce back, that's a warning shot. This isn't a rebuilding year for the Fever anymore. This is a team finding its identity. And that identity looks scary. More importantly, this proves something deeper. The hype was real. People said Clark couldn't hang with the pros. They said the WNBA would be too physical, too fast. They said the fame would be a distraction. But game after game, she's not only keeping up, she's dominating in record time. And if a rookie can break 8 records in a single game and take down the league's best team on her first game back from injury, just imagine what the second half of the season is going to look like. You can feel it. A shift. The energy in the WNBA is changing, and Caitlin Clark is right at the center of it. Caitlin Clark came back from injury and in 38 seconds did something the league will be talking about for years. She didn't just defeat the best team, she exposed them, shattered their perfect season, broke 8 records, and elevated her entire team in the process. This wasn't just a game, this was a statement. The Indiana Fever aren't rebuilding anymore, they're here. And if this is what Caitlin Clark looks like coming off a 5-game absence, just imagine what's coming next. Comment CC Record Breaker if you believe this is only the beginning. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever just flipped the WNBA upside down, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.